Too many animals in your village already. Wait, did we ever tell this story, Frio? Have you told this yet? I'm gonna share it now either way. When we met in Japan, it was me and Zeal that arrived first, and we connected with one member of staff. And Frio and Sable arrived later, and they were connected with a different staff member, right? And we all were supposed to reconvene in this this restaurant with private rooms so that we could just, you know, have our proper first dinner together. And me and Zeal and our staff member, we went a little earlier. We were just there chilling, just laughing it up, talking and everything. And we were there for, I think, like 20 to 30 minutes before Frio and Sable arrived with their staff member. I remember this is a bit of a tangent, but I remember the first thing that Frio said when he walked in the room, in our little private room where we were eating. He said, I kept telling them, we'll know that we're getting closer when we can hear the sound of Kaelix laughing. And truth be told, I was laughing up a storm before they arrived. But anyway, the funniest thing he said that day, he read me for shame. He smoked me. He blew me to pieces. We were talking about, you know, first meeting kind of things. We knew each other already, but it was our first time seeing each other in person. So we talked about like our travels and like back home, you know, talking about the weather a little bit because, you know, it was a little cold at the time. We were talking about like whether we got snow back home. And earlier in the conversation, this is important context. Earlier in the conversation, I talked about how I was really excited to be there, but I was really, really overwhelmed because, you know, my hometown is very small. It has like 500 people, very, very small town, hardly even a town, right? And I went to this metropolis as my first ever like trip, my first ever business trip, vacation, anything like that. So it was really overwhelming, exciting but overwhelming. And so when we got back to the weather topic, right? We were talking about whether it snowed and stuff like that. Rio turns to me and he says, "So Kaelix, does it snow back in your village?" Like calling it a village. It blew me to pieces. I was so surprised. I was gobsmacked by that. It was the funniest thing in the world. And the tragedy there is, I don't even think he was making fun of it. I think he just actually thought it was a village because of the way that I described it. And it might as well be. It might as well be a village. It was so funny. It was so funny. He cracked me up so bad. I was not. You weren't making fun of it. You just called it a village. It was just such a funny thing. And like, I don't know if it's intentional, but sometimes you just have this inherent almost like sass to your voice. So it's like you just kind of, you turn to look at me and you say, "So Kaelix, does it snow back in your village?" It was so good. It was so good. It cracked me up. I was destroyed. He destroyed me. He tore me to shreds. Sassy by blood is crazy. It's true though, like you have an inherent sass to you sometimes that I don't always think is intentional. It's very funny. Also, hi Reimu senpai. Oh goodness. Yeah, no, it killed me. It was so funny. It was so funny. That's still not the funniest thing he's ever said. Like he's such a comedian sometimes. I think we all have a slightly different style. I think I'm the type that, you know, I just think everything is funny. So I laugh at everything. And I think I have the kind of laugh that makes you want to like almost pity laugh with me. And then like, I think Zeal is really punny. Like he has very like intellectual humor. And Sable is the type that just says really outlandish things. Like he'll just say the most absurd thing you've ever heard in your entire life. And that's funny. I think that Frio, he's got the really well-timed one-liners. You know, he's a silent but deadly type. He'll wait for the perfect moment and strike where it counts the most. You know what I mean? I think that's our comedy gamut, our scale. That's what it looks like to me. Our comedy gradient is what I'll call it. And what's funny is you get to see the overlap. You get to see the overlap whenever we're together in a group. It's kind of silly.